When Thomas Happ released the original Axiom Verge in 2015, the inspirations were plain to see, but it still introduced a surprising amount of variety, fresh ideas, and a killer soundtrack. Now, 6 years later, Happ has returned with a sequel that has a stronger sense of identity in a world that's exciting to navigate, with plenty of tricks up its sleeve. Axiom Verge 2 follows an atypical protagonist. Indra Chowdhury is a CEO who acquired another tech company after their founder suddenly went missing in Antarctica, along with a full research team. A cryptic message leads Indra to the team's abandoned station, and while investigating, she soon finds herself on a one-way trip to another world. At first, the story is intentionally opaque, reveling in unfamiliar names and terminology as you encounter journals written by both the researchers and by this world's long-lost inhabitants. However, as you read more and talk with individuals directly, the pieces start to come together, unraveling the history of this place and the researchers who crossed into it. Seemingly ancient environments converge with nanomachines, AI, and trans-dimensional technology, while Indra's personal journey brings up intriguing questions of its own. The lore does have ties to the first Axiom Verge, but it's more of a parallel companion than a continuation, so you don't really need to catch up, but by the end, you may find yourself wanting to go back to try to follow the threads that connect this multiverse. One thing that Axiom Verge 2 really nails is a sense of empowerment. You start with little more than the ability to jump and an ice axe to use as a weapon, but you continually gain new abilities and upgrades that consistently feel worthwhile. A new traversal power can be as simple as allowing you to climb vertical walls for short distances, but this nonetheless enables you to view your surroundings in all new ways and open paths that you didn't recognize before. Exploration is open and organic. You're given waypoints to seek out, but there's little else to direct you. In the meantime, you're free to go explore large, broad spaces in entirely opposite directions from your goals. This results in stumbling upon many power-ups almost unexpectedly, and it strengthens the sense that you're making these discoveries on your own rather than being funneled toward an item needed to surmount the next obstacle. On the flip side of things, this openness and ease of distraction can also lead to a handful of moments when it's not quite clear which area you should be searching to find the way forward. Getting to the end can take 10 to 12 hours, and you can stick around for a few more if you want to complete the map and search for every item. One of the most valuable and unusual skills you gain early on is the ability to hack enemies and electronic devices. Hacking can do simple things like open locked doors and activate platforms, but options vary with each enemy type. Hacking robotic creatures brings up a menu of options that can include spontaneous detonation, dispensing health, or turning them into allies, and it's fun to experiment with new enemies to see what they can do. Each option has a set energy cost as well, so there are limits to how much you can hack between checkpoints. Because hacking's so useful, it's one of the best things to invest skill points in. The skill point system is simple, allowing you to upgrade health, attack power, speed, and various other attributes, but every time you find one of the green jars holding a skill point or two, it feels like a meaningful contribution to your character's growth. Another key part of your toolset is a beetle-like drone that can explore the world just as freely as Indra herself. It has its own branch of upgrades and power-ups to find, including a sort of grappling hook that slingshots you forward. While the function is incredibly useful, it does have somewhat finicky controls that take some getting used to. Not only can the drone crawl through small, tight tunnels, but it's the only way to enter portals into the breach. The breach is quite literally a whole other dimension to explore. The breach map overlaps the main overworld in a way similar to the light and dark worlds of Zelda: A Link to the Past or Metroid Prime 2. However, the rooms and layouts aren't just slightly altered copies of each other. Where the main world tends to be more focused on wide exterior spaces, the breach is composed of tunnel-like labyrinths. Finding entrances and exits to and from the breach is a big part of exploration, since many areas are only accessible by first reaching a counterpart on the other side. These mechanics only get more prevalent and complex as new upgrades improve your ability to move back and forth. With the aid of tools like a generous fast travel system, it can be a lot of fun to seek out all the hidden nooks and crannies on both sides. The biggest change from the first game comes with combat. Where the original Axiom Verge piled on an arsenal of guns and bullet hell-inspired boss fights, Axiom Verge 2 ditches firepower in favor of slashing melee combat. There is a boomerang that Indra can toss for a ranged attack, but it doesn't feel particularly useful until you invest in some upgrades. The melee combat isn't bad, but Axiom Verge 2 doesn't emphasize nail-biting encounters in the same way, clearly shifting its emphasis more towards the joy of discovery and exploration. However, there are some extra weapons, often tantalizingly out of reach, offering some variety once you find them. Visually, the world of Axiom Verge 2 plays its own role in telling the story. Stone carvings and rugged cliffs lead to ruined cities and rain-soaked plains. Passageways are blocked by beams of energy, and the stranded research teams have brought their own influence with campsites, vehicles, and labs. Meanwhile, The Breach has a completely distinct look, with fewer colors and a chunky retro aesthetic. Likewise, the infectious soundtrack doesn't disappoint, blending electronic beats with acoustic instruments and plaintive vocals in the overworld, then transforming some of the same melodies into a more chiptune sound when you enter The Breach. Despite how phenomenal the music is, though, the sound effects are harsh, crunchy, and loud, giving them a grading quality that can be one of the game's biggest turnoffs. It may not push its combat as hard as the original, but Axiom Verge 2 isn't afraid of letting you forge your own path. Power-ups are spread out in a way that prevents them from simply feeling like keys needed to unlock the next area, and there are lots of extra goodies and fun secrets along the way. Axiom Verge 2 has a way of getting into your system and enticing you to uncover absolutely every last inch of its world. Final score, 8 out of 10. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.